talk a lot about how insane feminists really are. They don't care about equality. They care about denigrating men in order to prop up women, and they are willing to attack men at any chance they can. Look at what's happening in the video game industry right now. They are attacking our hobby because they view it as a male-dominated space, and they, of course, want to rip entertainment away from men. But now they're getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine because this T app breach has exposed 72,000 selfies, ID photos, and other user images, when really this is basically just a platform where you rate men and you put up polls on if you should date men or not. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube membership. So it says T, a women's safety dating app that surged to the top of the free iOS App Store listings this week, has been the subject of a major security breach. Now, I don't think that having an application that has all of these safety tools at the tip of your finger is the problem. I think the issue is the way that these women were using it and how it's really just an app to denigrate and attack men and share photos of men and to basically roast men. It is a disgusting application to have, and the problem is that you're using it in order to just attack men that have either rejected you or that you're questioning, and basically you just want to sit here and get validation from other women about your dating choices. And I'm not saying that this can't exist. I'm saying it deserves to get absolutely roasted by normal people, and that's what's happening right now, and they're getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine because according to T's preliminary findings, the breach allowed access to approximately 72,000 images broken down into two groups, 13,000 images of selfies and photo identification that people had submitted during account verification, and 59,000 images that were publicly viewable in the app from posts, comments, and direct messages. It is absolutely insane that you would go to this link, that you would provide photo identification to join a roasting men app. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. These are the people that call men incels online, and I don't think that people's information and photo identification being leaked is a good thing, but why would you give it to this app in the first place? Those images had been in a legacy data system that contained information from more than 2 years ago, the company said in a statement. At this time, there is no evidence to suggest that current or additional user data was affected, and interestingly enough, there are reports online that are circulating about how basically T wasn't really hacked, it just had no security at all. It says, though, however, if the original post about that breach is correct, it would appear that the images were stored without any level of security. As the now deleted original 4chan post stated, if you sent T-App your face and driver's license, they doxed you publicly, no authentication, no nothing. It's a public bucket. So that's definitely not a good look for them. Someone had commented, I was attempting to pick the lock, but the door was wide open. If you went to an app for drama and got shocked when you got drama, that's on you. Absolutely not surprised. They didn't even hack T, they just opened the app like everybody else, which is just so hilarious. Now, I guess I'm slightly more normal compared to the women who use this application because I'm in its target audience and I've never heard of it before, but I saw this image circulating and it is real and it really gives me the creeps. It says anonymous advice. Should I date Ethan? Don't date him. Date him. He's just busy. Or ask him why only lunch. So they provide a poll option so women can give other women advice and feedback and judge the decision that they should make. Like, that is really creepy to me. If you're an adult, you should be able to make these decisions for yourself, but really they just want to sit here and gossip about how bad men really are. And to top all of that off, imagine if the genders were reversed. Imagine if this was an application where men could sit and judge women and put up polls based on, ooh, should I date this woman? Should I ask this woman out to lunch? Here's a bunch of pictures of her. But they would be melting down over that. They would be sitting here saying, oh my gosh, these men are toxic, they're sexist, they are incels. Like, they would be attacking men left, right, and center for an app like this. It's just so weird to me that they thought that this was a good decision and that they would give this application their photo ID and expected them to keep that information safe. I would never do something like that, but it's just so weird to me that you're so desperate for validation that you would join an app like this. I can't say I'm particularly shocked, though, given feminists are really pushing the victimhood mentality on society. The types of women who join this are, in my opinion, really just feminists. They don't really want to make decisions for themselves. They do not want to actually give men a chance. They really just want to sit here and receive validation based on their gender. It's as I've said in my recent videos about feminist organizations like Collective Shout, a lot of what we see in modern feminism today is just Marxism in a different form. These people aren't fighting on the old economic front anymore. Their battleground is culture. They look at things like the traditional family, religion, and gender roles in Western society as things standing in the way of what they think would be a more equal world. So instead of calling for workers to rise up, the new approach is to slowly reshape society through schools, media, pop culture, and when you look at second wave and third wave feminism, it's not just about equal rights anymore. It's more of an ideological tool, one that challenges these traditional things and pushes the idea of identity politics based on who is a victim. It's basically the old Marxist oppressor versus oppressed model, but now it's just with men versus women. Women are seen as oppressed and men are seen as the privileged oppressors, and I don't think that that is really going to change anytime soon. And then you have applications like this being used as tools for women to play victim with each other, to sit here and say how bad men are, how untrustworthy men are, and they're really only worsening the divide that does exist in part online between men and women. This is why men do not trust women. And then you have women playing the victim when men aren't standing here lining up to get their attention because, yeah, men are just really weary of women going and doing something like this. Lots of people are roasting them online, though, for this. Women actively sabotaging other women. This is just the app for it. What if we made Kiwi farms, but for normies? Women outsourcing every decision to the group instead of taking responsibility. Can't make this up. Like, seeing situations like this makes me so disappointed in other women. And clearly the group that was on this app was rather small, but they said that they actually had tons of requests to join the site. I don't know if they were all legitimate or if they were basically just trying to say, oh, our app is, really popular and it was growing and like we're going to still try to keep it alive. I'm not necessarily sure, but they said that they had millions of applications, which is just freaking crazy to me. But why don't men approach women anymore? Laughing my ass off. As the old adage goes, online dating is shopping for women, a job search for men. This is their version of Yelp. It really is just their version of Yelp. And while, again, I don't think that it's necessarily like wrong for women to want an application that provides these like easy safety tools like catfish image searches and stuff, the way that they were using this was really just degenerate. They weren't using it as if they were trying to keep themselves safe. They were using it, yes, as a Yelp for men to sit here and judge men and see what the group think would be about a certain man or his decisions, which is just really gross to me. They dox themselves. Anyone who is this desperate for a date likely has no life or identity to steal. It almost makes you wonder if it was intentional. I don't necessarily think that it was intentional, but I guess you never really know. That's what DEI developers get you. At the end of the day, I can't say that I really feel all that bad. It will be interesting to see what else happens in regards to this situation, but I know that this is trending over on X, so this T-app is getting a hell of a lot of negative press right now, and well, this data breach exposed 72,000 selfies, ID photos, and other user images, but that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.